let's talk Ryan Williams, because he went on John Gruden's Barstool show, and Gruden asked him what happened in the Vandy game, and I thought his response was fantastic.
What happened to you guys against Vanderbilt?
Man, they played a better football game than us this game. We came out slow, and they capitalized. They held the ball. They had their game plan, and they executed.
What do you say to your team when you got Vanderbilt this year coming into Tuscaloosa?
Man, going into this game, it's we don't call them revenge games. So we gonna kill an ant with a sledgehammer this year. So I mean, just every game that we fell short last year, we definitely got red eyes going into them.
So we're going to kill an ant with a sledgehammer, and we've got it in our lower third graphic on the screen here now. That's the one that got passed around. The part where he's like, they just beat us fair and square. They straight up beat us. Didn't make a lot of headlines. But I love this. And Diego Pavia then responded on his Instagram story. He played a Gucci Mane song and highlighted the lyric, they acting like they tough but don't want no confrontation. This is great, because you know what I don't have a problem with ever? A player saying their team is going to win a game. Like, we always go crazy when a player predicts a victory in a game. Like, that's awesome. This is awesome. Like, we need more of this.
Yeah, I think that, like, too, when you say we have to be careful about the way that we react when people say things because we want them to be interesting. I think that there's a fine line, because, like, if you are Alabama and you are one of the best players in college football and you say we're going to kill an ant with a sledgehammer, there is absolutely nothing offensive about that to me.
No.
I feel like saying interesting things and saying things that are perceived to be as weak are different. Like, if you say positive, colorful comments about, asserting dominance, that's what sports is. That's the reason why boxing exists, right? Like, that's like the whole. So, like, the thing about it is, like, you want to criticize people because people want to read the criticisms of things. But, like, if you write a column, Ryan Williams needs to shut their mouth, they lost last year, like, you're insane. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a line there.
Talk your stuff, Ryan Williams, and talk your stuff, Diego Pavia. Like, this is what needs to happen. Like, Big James in the chat. This is awesome. The kids don't listen to Gucci Mane anymore, Diego. He's basically calling Diego Pavia an unk, which is fantastic.
Kind of true. I mean, like, isn't he like 6 years older than Ryan Williams?
He definitely is.
And
he
also
definitely is.
Years in pop culture years is like a decade.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not a decade, like, decades maybe.
I remember, who is it? Lorenzo Carter, and who's the other Georgia edge rusher from the 2017 team? Like, talking about Gucci Mane lyrics in the locker room, and that's closer to Diego Pavia's age cohort than Davin Bellamy. That's the other one. Davin Bellamy is the one that said, humble yourself to Baker Mayfield. So, like, I love all of this. The more trash talk, the better. I kind of hope the NIL era and the loosening of the program's grips on the players as they express themselves results in more excellent trash talking like this.
But he also indirectly said that Alabama got stung by an ant last year and fell over. So, like, if they view them as an ant, you also have to wear the loss last year. So, like, but to me,
he was very upfront saying, like, the first part of his answer to John Gruden's question was, they just beat us. Like, he didn't call it fluky. He correctly summarized the game. Like, he just beat them.
Yeah, I think it's entertaining. I have zero issue with either side saying what they said.
Yeah,
and if I were
love
a good
this
college football player, do you have any idea how I would behave, Andy? If I were, like, as good,
you would be insufferable.
I would be the person that they would the SID wouldn't make available.
I know, and that's the problem. Like, I don't want any of these guys to not be made available. I want them to be available to say stuff like this.
It is kind of crazy to think, though, like, if you would have thought, like, at the height of the Nick Saban era, that, like, Alabama's best player would be talking crap to Vanderbilt, you'd be like, something went really wrong here.
Well, and there's your think piece, Ari. There's your June 5th think piece. Kalen DeBoer has lost control. Clearly, Alabama has fallen from the ranks of the mighty.
No, I don't. I ran into it last week with SEC fans who misunderstood what we said on the show 900 times, and I think I'm going to give Alabama a break for a while.
Are you getting soft?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
You can't handle a little criticism.
Criticism is one word for it. What I can't,
you gotta stop reading the replies.
As I get older, like my dad and I were in the car, and he goes, "I love road trips, but let me tell you, as I get older, they really take a toll on my body in a way that they didn't used to." Right? Like that's like what an older person would say. So I'm going to say something that makes me feel like an older person. My energy for dealing with conflict that goes outside the scope of disagreeing with what I said is waning. I don't have as much patience as I used to dealing with people who are yelling at me about something that I didn't say. Like that.
I think that's healthy. I'm glad you're coming to that, because that's one thing you and I have talked about over the years. And my wife sat me down a few years ago and basically was like, you got to stop this. You got to stop arguing with these random people. Like, you remember the cartoon, the meme where the woman is sticking her head through the door and the dad's, or the guy's at his computer, the husband's at his computer, and you can tell she's getting exasperated and wants him to leave the room. And he goes, "But someone is wrong on the internet."
Yeah.
Like that was me. And my wife's like, you are a terrible person when you're like this. You have to stop.
Yeah. And I can't stop arguing. And the one thing that I will tell you about how I feel is, if I write a column, it's not designed to get everybody to listen or everybody to agree with me. It's designed to elicit a reaction. And some people be like, hell yeah, that's right. And some people be like, this guy's an asshole. And like, that's okay.
There it is.
But I do feel like whenever I write a column, 100% of the time, my position I can argue about vehemently. Like there's nobody that could tell me I'm an idiot and then survive a argument with me that they would not feel the brunt of what I feel. What I cannot do is get words put into my mouth and then argue with them about the things that I don't say. And that happens every day now. And it's like, it blows my mind and it bothers me.
Smash the numbers, Ferris Khan. I wish I could say I think you're being a conspiracy theorist, but I think you're probably right. Social media is controlled in large part by AI. Real content like Andy and Ari is becoming more rare. That's right.
Do you think that like there are times that I am arguing with AI? Like, is that like actually happening?
Yes.
Because if that's the case, then I really have no patience.
I do actually wonder, do some of the AI companies train their models by creating social media bots? Like that seems like an easy way to train.
So like if a person has like an American flag and one follower and they're like talking to you.
Why's it got to be an American flag, Ari?
What?
Why's it got to be an American flag?
It's always an American flag.
No, it you know what it always is? It's a person in their car wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, I feel like the American flag is very prevalent in the one follower hateful people, and I don't know why.
I don't see. I love the American flag.
So do I.
Let's bring Betsy Ross into this, okay?
I'm just telling you the type of profile you come across.
I know what you're saying.
But like, yeah. So if I'm arguing with a robot, then I'm like truly played myself. Although it does feel like I'm arguing with a robot anyway, because there's nothing that can ever be said to get through to anybody who's doing that to you. So, yeah, I want to argue about my points, and I don't want to argue about things I didn't say. And I feel like
the thing is, the people who are then accusing you of saying something you didn't say, if you don't know that person, or if they're not someone with a, in our business, like with a large following, if you just ignore it, nothing will happen. So
and
you should just ignore it.
And by arguing back, I'm just giving them what they want.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Because there are people who just want to get a rise out of other people on the internet.